If you are a coach or healer who knows your work changes lives, but sales calls leave you feeling drained, second guessing yourself, or frustrated when clients you can totally help don't say yes, well, this is for you.
You've been told you're meant to overcome objections and create urgency, but it feels like manipulation. And in the meantime, you are undercharging your gifts and not self promoting in the way that feels really authentic. You know that there are people out there in the world who are missing out on the help that you know you can give easily, effortlessly. And you're wondering how something so sacred got tangled up with something that feels so slimy. Because here's what's really happening underneath. So every forced sales conversation, like I'm wearing my salesperson jacket, is teaching your nervous system that this visibility equals danger. And you're starting to dread the very conversations that should light you up, that should be the first taste of what it feels like to be held by you, to experience your magic. And so your ideal clients whom you could help so easily, so effortlessly, they can sense that incongruence. They can sense that hesitation, that tentativeness. And so they pull away and they say things like, oh, it's not the right time, or I love your work. I'm going to think about it though. What's most frustrating is that you'll often see that they've gone and invested something else, maybe thousands and thousands in another solution that wasn't really a solution at all. And this is when we start to wrap up these circumstances and start labeling it with the meaning that, oh, maybe I'm just bad at business. Maybe I can't really achieve the income levels that are actually reflect how talented you actually are. And what's really happening is that you're just using the wrong approach. So, what if I told you this isn't a you problem? It's a system problem. I quit a sales role for refusing to manipulate someone into buying. So I was working for a CEO who was frustrated that there were people or inquiries that looked good on paper, but I wasn't turning more of them into sales. And the thing is, when in my business, sales conversations feel like a really sacred transformation. It delivers shifts, it delivers paradigm shifts. People often cry, people say thank you for the opportunity. And as a result, I convert maybe 8 out of 10 people into something that's right for them. And so that level of confidence that I have going into a sales role turns the average bro hustler kind of business, and it makes them go, yeah, being they see dollars in their eyes. Oh, Bianca's an 80% high ticket closer. But now in this business, I'm at like 20, 30%. And so she started analyzing my sales calls, and the feedback was brutal, but also because I knew she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. She was saying that I was letting people off the hook instead of forcing a decision. I wasn't railroading people into saying, this is the thing that you should buy a program. And yet I'm like, the only reason that I can close at that level is because I know without a doubt that this is the solution that is the right thing for the right person at the right time. And in this certain situation, it really broke my heart because I was like, oh, actually respecting this CEO and this potential client had actually told me where her boundary was. She told me where she was feeling safe about making a decision. Everybody has their own buying timeline. And if you rush that, if you break that trust, then all you got to do is create high maintenance clients on the other side because they are constantly going to be asking to be convinced. They'll want you to prove to them why their transformation is possible. And they'll also be stuffing down this buyer's remorse because me as a salesperson pushed them over what their nervous system was ready. And yes, you can totally build a multi-million dollar business by overriding people's buying decisions. But can you create peace, harmony, joy in your life when you have clients who have said yes to actually a very toxic way of selling to somebody? We might be pushing all these people into buying this solution. And yes, 3 out of 10 people might be getting a great result and they're going to pimp those testimonials. But if you were to go and have an overall look at their client satisfaction record, it would actually be And a lot of times people are joining and buying on the front end, and it's like a revolving door. There is just as many people leaving on the back end, not renewing, dishonoring their payments, pushing their staff, and making their job really hard. And that's what that CEO didn't understand. And that's what most sales training gets wrong. So, sales resistance isn't about a technique, isn't about trying to force the person to say yes. It's actually about the energetic incongruence. When you try to sell using methods that betray what you know to be true, that's when your nervous system goes into flight or fight because your body knows that you're performing instead of just transmitting the truth, instead of just coming from that rock solid conviction that this is the right thing for this person at the right time in their journey. And this is really what traditional sales is all about. It's actually like a colonial extraction method. How can I get this much money out of this person so I can go buy the bloody Lamborghini, right? So you take what you can get and you override the buyer's timeline. But this is what we cannot tolerate as deeply gifted, as highly skilled, and highly sensitive transformation experts. If we harm somebody and if we break that trust, first and foremost, how are we going to build a relationship on the other side and really help somebody move through their blocks, move through their trauma, move through their stuckness, and feel like we're the right person and we're in our integrity? Soul currency is what I talk about, where it's actually sacred reciprocity, where you honor their process and you trust the timing. And the reason that sales feels so hard for you isn't because you're bad at it, it's because you're trying to be someone that you're not. And so in this organization, they were trying to make me override my values and push people who weren't ready to buy for a dollar, like for money. Ew, it's just never that important to those of us who really value sustainable growth, integrity, being a good person. Like, who cares about some money when we've hurt somebody in the process? If we fast forward 2 years after I quit that job, I actually went into my own sales coaching, consulting, and helping people realize they don't have to override their truth. They don't have to push people. They can allow people to rise up and self select. And sales turns into this sacred container for transformation where new connections turn into new friends who happen to have really rewarding conversations that light you up. And oh, at the end of it, they happen to give you a lot of money and stay being your client long term because they become a loyal client who gets amazing results, who tell all their friends about it. And the beauty of this is that you didn't abandon your inner authority in order for the transaction to happen. And this is where they don't realize they're grinding those toxic sales paradigm. They're grinding the hustle and bro, grinding into conversions and throwing money at ad spend and wondering why is it so expensive? Why are they feeling the sickness in their body? And it's because they don't honor the long-term alignment that happens when you're in flow. And so when I started really sharing this work with my clients, I remember getting a message from a client that I'll never forget. And she said, Bianca, I keep accidentally selling people. I'm going to actually have to stop or I won't be able to keep up. And she wasn't using scripts. She wasn't objection handling. She wasn't using these weird closing techniques. She was just so lit up about her work that she just couldn't shut the fuck up about it. So she was selling people. People were just like, how can I work with you? People at a barbecue were asking, how can I work with you? People at the coffee shop, when they're like, what do you actually do? They wanted to work with it. And that ripple effect it was prosperity in perpetuity. It's finances, it's sales, it's referrals that happen without you having to be pushing or forcing or convincing and persuading. And people would reach out after just seeing one of her posts and saying, I don't know what it is, but I need to talk with you. I need to work with you. So what really changed for her? She stopped trying to convince. She allowed herself to relax into the incredible gifts that she had and started transmitting from that place of calm, confident purity. And I'll tell you, when somebody is so rock solid certain in who they are, what it is that their work does, and how it benefits the world, and they are so secure in that nervous system safety, It's kind of like that je ne sais pas, je ne sais quoi, that thing that I don't know what it is about you, but I just want it because that's magnetic. When you want the sale and you want somebody to work with you, but you don't need it. You don't need to like reach out and convince them and persuade them and do weird like half scholarship that isn't really a half scholarship discounts, like weird discounts where they jack up the price by 20,000 and say, oh, today you can get it for 20,000 less. So this is when she stopped performing being a good salesperson and getting out of her incredible healing work. And she just started being herself. And her sales conversations became extensions of her healing work. Sacred, honest, sovereign. And what happens is it's like a whirlpool. It goes, and the right people step up, self-select and say, how can I pay in full? The wrong people or the people who just aren't ready yet fall away. And that's a good thing. That's not a thing that you want to push to try and grab people before they're ready. Because it's just, I don't know, drinking toxic water. You don't want to ingest that into your business. So here's what I want you to try right now. Think of something that you just absolutely love recommending: a restaurant, a book, a massage therapist, just anything. And just notice how your body feels. Your chest is open, your voice is flowing, you have that natural excitement, don't you? Because you're not trying to convince the other person, you're just sharing something that really lit you up. And this is your natural sales genius flowing through unobstructed, unapologetic. This is what makes you unfuckwithable, right? In a sales conversation, because you're like, here's the thing that I've got. And here's the thing that's going to change your life. Here's the three things that have been holding you back that you didn't realize were hidden blind spots. And here's how I shift that for you. And this is when the question isn't what should I say to convince them? It's actually, how can I be more me? How can I claim my gifts, claim my authority, and speak into the transformation that I offer with such unwavering certainty that the right people just can't help but just be like, okay, what's the next step? Now, when you align your sales with your soul, here's what becomes possible for you. Sales conversations energize you instead of drain you. Clients arrive on a call to be sold by you because your presence has already done so much of the heavy lifting through your marketing, through your pre-sales architecture, through just your presence. And this is why my clients start doubling their income while working fewer hours because, yeah, you're not trying to force people who aren't ready yet. They are thanked for sales conversations instead of feeling guilty about them. And they wake up to payment notifications for programs that they weren't even actively promoting because somebody that they had a conversation with, maybe it was 3 months ago, maybe it was a year ago, they come out of the woodwork because they would change by that conversation. And they're like, you're my person. We're just waiting for the logistics to arrive. And then I know I'm going to seek you out. This is when you become the person that sales happen to, not somebody who has to chase them down, not somebody who has to do all these weird sales techniques and objection handling scripts that make that you sound stupid saying it. They know you sound awkward. You don't have to do any of that. So if you're a transformation expert feeling drained by sales, this misalignment is costing you daily because every forced conversation teaches your nervous system that sales equals unsafe. Every time you betray your truth for a sale, you leak your power, you leak your magnetic presence, the very thing that attracts people to you like a moth to a flame. And I really want you to know this in your body, know this in your truth, that your gifts are desperately needed in this world. But you don't have to be a martyr. You don't have to throw yourself like Joan of Arc onto your cause. You don't have to be like scraping for change while your clients go out there creating incredible results, making millions, changing lives, saving relationships. It's all about you honoring this soul current, this sacred reciprocity of what it is that you receive from spirit, what it is that you give out into the world also means that you should be receiving from your clients so that you can amplify your gifts, so that you can go out and complete your mission and fulfill your sacred mission with the resources that allow it to happen. It's no point if you're rushing around trying to make ends meet, over delivering, undercharging. Your source didn't give you these gifts so that you could be an overgiving savior, martyring yourself for the cause. So, the longer that you wait to align your sales with your soul, the more clients you are not serving. And when you know, when you see the results that your work gives out in the world, when you feel that heartfelt thanks, when you're like, oh my gosh, you've changed my life, you've changed my family's life. People out there are not being helped. The planet, the world, the children of the world need you to step up, serve, and get paid. Get paid so you can do more of the amazing work that you do out in the world. Now, I've created a free 7-minute audio that walks you through the exact energy reset that transforms how selling feels in your body. I want you to go to biancaa.com/gift, and I want you to see how sales will shift into this soul current in just 7 minutes. Check it out. Go to biancaa.com/gift. See you there.